Hey guys and girls, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. We have the Epiphone by Gibson back on the bench. This is part 2. The last video we sorted out the electronics. We had to get that done first before we could move on with cleanup, setup, and basically I'm doing a semi-restoration on this guitar. Let's get to work. I'll tell you what we've been up to. So remember, if you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe. So you can see the guitar looks a lot different. I have the knobs off. I fixed this. She had no knob on it. I had a spare one that will work. Tried to clock this as best I could. It had still plastic under there, and over years it has deteriorated and it got really sticky and gooey. It took quite a little bit of work just to get that little coin off of there. Destrung it, took everything apart. We're moving on to cleaning up the frets, oiling the board. As you can see, I've cleaned up the guitar a lot. Semi-restoration. If I was going to go do a complete restoration on this, I would take everything out and go to buffing the entire guitar, but that's not where we're at with this particular job. I'm going the extra mile for this young lady because she needs to have the guitar back, and it's a family hand-me-down, and I'm kind of a sucker for that sort of thing. So you have all seen me go through this process of, cleaning up the frets. The frets are in really bad shape. I'm going to do the best I can. Trust me, they will be 1,000 times better when I get finished with them. The first thing we're going to do is just kind of take as much of the green tarnish off of them as we can. And then we're going to polish them. You can already see the difference in those 3 frets right there, just from the first step. Right? I'm not going to bore you with the entire thing because off camera, yeah, there's 40 minutes worth of work there. Just cleaning them up, and then we're going to polish them, then we're going to oil the board, we're going to put it all back together, string it, and start playing it. So, yeah, in not short order, but that's what it'll be. Stand by. So we're just in the last phase of polishing. Some of you have seen this, some of you haven't. We cleaned the frets as much as we could with some emery pad. It's basically Scotch-Brite, an ultra-fine Scotch-Brite, and that pulls off the green, the tarnish as much as possible, but there's still a lot of stuff left on there, and that's why we go to it with the polish. And trust me, if you skip this step, you'll know it in about 3 weeks, because everything will come back green and goopy, and you really got to work it to get that stuff off. All right, you follow? And it's just elbow grease. There's no easy way to do it. Just no easy way to do it. And go to cleaning off the excess polish. And we're going to go back and oil the board, of course, and then we're going to go back again and just wipe the frets really, really good. Very tedious work, but if you don't do this, you're not going to get a result that you're happy with. There, I'm going to guess just put some on and then go to it. I know those of you who watch my videos, you go, oh, he does the same thing every time. Well, not the same exact thing every time, but yeah, there's a lot of the same procedures that you just can't skip on. You don't want to skip these parts. You start throwing strings on nasty frets, what's your end result going to be? Guitar's going to sound like crap and it won't feel right when you're playing it. Do this stuff. Or take it to someone like me who does. And believe me, if your guitar tech isn't doing this for you, get a new guitar tech. Sorry to say. Sorry to say. Yeah. That's tarnish, green goo, black goo. Yeah, that's just from, and I could do this 2 or 3 times, and they would successively polish up even more. This is not a restoration. It's a semi-restoration, but trust me, in the condition that it was in, this thing's standing tall now. Oil the board. How many of you are bored with seeing this? Linseed oil. That board has probably never, ever been oiled. We're going to change that. I will pause here again. This is another tedious step that if you don't do it, you may not know the difference, but if you do it, you're going to notice immediately. And it will last a year, year and a half. This guitar may need another treatment in, I don't know, a couple of months because this wood is just dry. But I'm going to apply it and then let it sit on there for a little while. So that's why I'm going to pause. In fact, I don't even think I put enough on. Stand by. So elapsed time was about 10, 15 minutes maybe at the most. And the board really soaked it up a lot. And the last step is to make sure you take any excess off. And yeah, you got to do this a couple of times. But you can see the difference in the way that board looks. It was anemic before I did this. I mean, look at how dark. That's what rosewood is supposed to look like. And it's still taking some tarnish off. Don't want to leave any excess on. Just take your time, get it off of there, and then we're going to take one more clean rag and really work the upper and lower edge of each fret. And that's important because now that all that is on there, there is still tarnish coming off of those frets. And there could be polish, there could be still oil down in there. So work this side and then that side. This side and then that side. And just work your way up. And when you get done, the end result is going to be very satisfying. You see, still getting a little bit of tarnish off of there. And it doesn't surprise me because this poor girl was languishing for a long, long time. Yeah. Final step. This is the last little bit of cleanup. This guitar actually cleaned up pretty nice, but it's got some road rash on it. I don't know if the guy that was playing it did a lot of work with it, but somebody played it. I mean, there's some character in this guitar. Cleaned up a lot. It needed it badly. I mean, badly. It was just in horrendous condition. I took the pick guard off to clean under it. And again, if your guitar tech isn't doing that, get a new guitar tech. And if he doesn't clean your pick guard before he puts it back on, get a new guitar tech. Doesn't take a lot. It's not rocket science. Little naphtha, clean it right up. Now that's relic. That's age. That's real relic, and you know my rant on relic. Yeah, man. Is it perfect? No. This guitar will never be perfect again. But I guarantee you it's going to play right. I guarantee you it's going to play right. And it's going to look a million times better than it did when it arrived to me today. And, yeah, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. These were not fitting on there perfectly. They were very loose. I am going to, oh, that one's busted, that's why. This thing needs a new pot right there. I'm not going to turn the rest of them then. Just going to put it back on. And that's a job for another day, my dear. And you know who I'm talking to. I noticed that they were loose when I went to pull them off, and I go, well, sometimes you can separate or spread open the split shaft. Well, that one's broken. Doesn't mean the pot's broken. It just isn't ever going to hold on to that knob the right way. But it's good enough for now. It ain't going to fall off of there. Who turns their guitar upside down, right? I'm going to pause briefly while I get a set of strings out. I want to save a little bit of video time because I really want to string it up and do a setup on it on this video and be done with it. So stand by. Okay, so we restrung it, we've cleaned it, we sorted out the electronics. We are getting ready to do the setup on it. And you know where we start always. Neck relief. It's a little loose, but I think I'm going to leave it there because I haven't tuned it up yet. It's showing good. It's kissing the feeler gauge. Let's tune it up and see where we're at with real pitch. Let's see where we're at, tuned up to pitch. What the hell was that? Something just went twang. These tuners are going to have to be changed at some point. Oh, that was a piece of the nut popped off. Right there. Got a brittle nut. A piece of the nut popped off. Right there, the string nut. I thought it was a piece of string maybe I left over. Well, that's not good. You know, this thing's going to get a new nut in its future. Let's see if we can't make it play anyway. It's still in a groove, but the very end of it popped out. And I'm going to say it's probably going to need new tuners soon. Because these are kind of wonky. Like some of them are nice and loose and some of them are really tight. That concerns me. That piece of the nut popped out. Gonna have to put a new nut in there. I think we can proceed. Oh yeah, it's holding tune beautifully. Stretch stretch them a little bit, retune. Why is that one so hard? Is it because oh, I see, the bushing's coming apart. Yeah, these tuners need to be replaced. They're just not going to make it. That's not the end of the world, though. As wonky as they are, the thing likes to hold tune. And I haven't even adjusted the saddle or string height yet. Yeah, pickups are really close. I can tell by looking at it. The next fade, let's see, we got it at pitch. Where is our neck relief? I'm thinking I'm going to have to tighten this up slightly. Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to have to tighten it up a little bit. Let's do it right now, because you can't do it. You can't move forward with the setup until the neck relief is correct. And I did check this with the customer before we took it in. So I know that it does work. I have to straighten the neck a little bit right now. And I know which one that is. It's a 4 mil. Gave it a good quarter of a turn. And I'll bet that's all it's going to need, because it was pretty close. I like that. I'm going to roll with that. I'm pretty certain we'll be able to run with it. I'm going to leave the cover off just in case we need to adjust it later. The next step is tune it back to pitch, because we tightened up the neck. And let's get our string height set, because we had the saddle and the bridge and saddle assembly out. Yeah, that bushing is completely popped out of there. I would say a new set of tuners in this guitar's life, in its future anyway. I can live with that. Intonation is pretty close. Needs to be adjusted right there. I'll do that off camera, because that is a chase your tail all day long. What was I going to check? String height. Yeah. I know this needs to be adjusted because we had all this out cleaning it. Way low. Extremely low. I'm surprised it's not buzzing worse than it is. I think we can use this little guy. Bring it up. I'm going to do a whole turn there and a half a turn there. Tune it. Wow, that A tuner is really wonky. I wish I had a set of tuners here. I would just put them on. Let's check it again. This guitar, I think, is well on its way to playing again. I'd like to bring that up slightly, but definitely that one. I want that just above 464s. That's perfect. Actually, that one's a little tall. Down slightly. Perfect. Like that. Let's tune it up one more time. So I'm going to let this thing settle overnight. Yeah, bad tuners, as long as you tune up to pitch, they should hold. It seems like this guitar wants to be stable, but the weak link is these tuners. I'm trying to put some extra tension on the tuner peg itself. Some of them are really loose. That one. D is a little loose too. That bushing looks like it's coming apart as well. Yeah, I've got a couple of problems. Tuners and our nut decided it was going to give up the ghost on the bass side. It's holding the string there, okay. I can live with that. There's only one way to fix it. We got to knock that nut out of there and get a new one in there. Now, she needed this guitar. It was kind of a time constraint. That's why I'm trying to finish it today for her. But it's still going to need some work. We accomplished a lot with this thing. Sorted out the electronics. We cleaned it within an inch of its life. We polished the frets. Dressed the frets, whatever you want to call it, oiled the board. We're ready to play it. I know this thing is going to make music, and I know it's going to semi-hold tune. It's not a bad little guitar. No dead frets. No dead frets. We got a wonky nut here. It's always something. But the E string is holding. There's still just enough of the nut holding it up on there. I may take the broken piece off camera and super glue it on there. And where did you go? Oh, I had it here a second ago. I may super glue it on there just to get by for now. Sorry, get back in the camera. Back in the movie. It's holding tune. It does need a new set of tuners. These are worn out. All the bushings are boogered. We could probably put bushings on there, but if you're going to go to all that work, might as well just get a new set of tuners. It's not that much money. I'm going to call this a success, man. We got everything working right. It's blackjack with 396 guitars. We got an Epiphone by Gibson from either the late 80s or 90s sometime. It was in dire need of some work and some love, which we gave it today. We'll talk soon. Remember, if you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe.